So the next thing I want to touch on is some tax tips and business basics, because you're going to hopefully make a lot of money in real estate and be very successful at it. And the last thing you want to do is pay taxes on something that is a business deduction allowed by the IRS or your state taxing authority. So I want to share a few things that I found to be very helpful in my business. And it may sound funny, but the beginning of every year, I start a file in my folder. 2022 receipts. I know that video is a little weird because I actually have a virtual background of my office. I know it's crazy, but that's what I've got. Start every year with an envelope. Ooh, that's really weird looking. And a folder for smaller ones, so that when I get something, when I buy toner for my printer, when I buy paper for my printer, when I buy a deed for $2.60, the receipt goes in here. I average $110 a year in receipts for deeds. That's $110 I don't have to pay taxes on. That just makes sense. Mileage deductions. One time it's like, oh, I want to buy that jacket. That's really cool. So I bought the jacket, kept the receipt, put the real estate logo on it, and now they're both deductible as marketing. I am not a tax professional. I am not an accountant, and if I was, I wasn't yours. But I'm just saying this has been my experience. But you need to track your business receipts, because you'll get the end of the year and it's like, I've got nothing to deduct. One of my previous videos when we talked about all the tabs on my computer and tracking your mileage and putting the location of where you go into your calendar items will serve you well. So last year I had $6,000+ in business expense for deductible mileage because I had a system to do it. And that's a system that I shared in a previous video. But if I didn't have that, it would have cost me about $1,800 in taxes that I would have paid, that I shouldn't have had to pay, that I didn't pay because I have a system to track my business expenses. It sounds silly, but have a folder so you've got somewhere to put it. When you get something, hit print on your printer. If you don't have a printer, you better get a printer. But you gotta have somewhere to put your business expenses. Postage. I buy a lot of stamps because I send out a lot of prospecting letters. I could pull up my spreadsheet and tell you exactly how much I spent with the post office last year, but I won't. But you need to track your business receipts. If you're just getting into real estate, my understanding is that the expense to get your license is not deductible, but renewing your license is deductible. Save your receipts. Do yourself a favor. Put more of that money in your pocket instead of the government's pocket. So that's an important thing for me to share. So that's tax tips, business basics. You need to save for your taxes. That you don't have receipts to deduct, but you need to set money aside for your taxes. You need to set money aside for yourself. Savings. The best way to do that, I have one checking account that I do for business. It's a checking account and 2 savings accounts. One of them is labeled savings. One of them is labeled taxes. If I put in a commission for, say, $10,000, because the numbers are easier that way, 29% of that I have to set aside for taxes. Welcome to New York State. So that means that once I do that deposit, I move $2,900 from checking into taxes. Every commission. If the commission's $1,000, then $290 is going to get moved into taxes, 29%. You got to do that every transaction, because if you get to the end of the year and you don't have 25 or 30 grand that you're going to pay in taxes, hopefully less where you are, you're going to be in trouble. If you haven't saved the money at all, you're going to be in trouble. Don't be in trouble. You can make a lot of money with real estate without having a whole lot of overhead, but there are some things you got to do. You got to pay Uncle Sam, right? So the $10,000 gets deposited from a commission. You're going to automatically put 2,900 into taxes. Say you take 10% and you put that into savings. $1,000, move that over. So then out of that 10,000, you've still got what, 6,100 left? If I did the math right in my head, 6,100 left. That's your operational stuff. Maybe you'll use that to pay your bills, whatever's going on. Maybe you'll move your savings up to a higher percentage over time. Maybe you do charitable contribution based on your income. But you've got to set yourself up. The minimum standard is you got to move money into taxes. Second minimum standard, you got to move money into savings. You got to have that savings account, right? So that's a little bit I wanted to share on just tracking your expenses, tax tips, business basics. You also want to track your transactions. I have a big long spreadsheet that I programmed a couple of years ago that has everything on there I need to know in a transaction, numbers wise, right? But it's got the attorney name, so it's like, okay, well, I got to do something. Who's the attorney on that deal? Let me go find the folder, which is right over there. But what if I'm on the road? I can pull up my spreadsheet and find out who our attorney is, who their attorney is, who's the agent on the other side, what's the sale price, what's the net to seller amount, what's the commission on it, how am I going to get paid, how much I'm going to get paid in the end. I also track what type of financing, who the attorney is, I mentioned. I also track the lead source. Where'd that business come from? It's important to know where your business is so you know where to either spend, where you've spent your focus, or where your results are coming from, or maybe where you need to spend a little bit more time, right? So track your business, whether you scribble it out on a piece of paper, just have something to track your transactions. SkySlope, where we put our transactions in, has you put in where the business came from, but probably not the same way that you'd want to track personally. And I'm not aware of any report that we can do that tells us, what the results were over the year. But you need to know where your numbers are for the year. I could pull up right now a spreadsheet and tell you I've got 2 million and change that's closed so far for the year and another million pending. And I can go right down to $2,059,300 closed, $1,063,000 pending. 20 total transactions for the year, 11 seller, 9 buyer, and I've had 2 list and sell. My average residential is 244,718, which is way up over last year. It's usually low 200s. So if that market resonates with you, just take my recommendation, reach out, ask questions if I can, help give guidance or clarity on any of this stuff. Reach out. Let's talk. Thanks a lot.